think?
Pull up, I'll get out here.
Why does he say all those nasty things? Every time he drinks a few beers, he gets angry. I've got to help him get better.
Speak up. Speak out. Domestic violence. It's not part of our culture.
Good morning. It is indeed. And in Alice Springs, the 10th friendly games are full on. I wonder if many of our friendly visitors are about to hit the cot. Probably not likely. Even friendly competitors still need some shut-eye to prepare for another day of conquest. So, it's bedtime. Just before you go, this is your chaplain speaking. So, hopefully you will give me a little bit of your time. My subject this morning is time, and we're all limited by how much of it we have. That could be to train for the Masters Games, or even to get to the big event. You might be leaving where you're viewing from this morning to go there. Most of us have to make appointments from time to time. It could be to the doctors, to catch up with your family, whatever. Sometimes I remember that I've got an appointment, but I can't even remember where it was I was going. Awareness of time passing seems to be inversely proportional to how much fun we're having, how much we're enjoying ourselves. When we're having a great time, it goes so quick, and we say, where has the time gone? If that's something you often say, you should be thankful. There are many older people who find that time drags. It's good to be busy, but we're learning not to overdo it, to hasten slowly. Have you ever considered how to make the best use of your time? Given 5 minutes, what would be the most influential, powerful and lasting thing that you could achieve? For instance, only a few weeks ago we had to vote to see who was going to run the country, so each of us had a little bit of influence. Some of us may know a poly personally, federal, state or council. But how much influence do they have, let alone how much do we have? For most of us and them, it's not much at all. How many of us have access to the ear of the main man, the man upstairs? There are certain guidelines, specific protocols to honour and follow, but each of us has the potential to get through to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Most of us are old enough to remember Jimmy Little when he sang Royal Telephone. Jimmy made the top 10 or 20 or 40 or whatever it used to be in those days by singing Telephone to glory, oh what joy divine. So you better think again. And then there was Pat Boone with He's got the whole world in his hands. And there are many others. Most of us would have hummed along with them in agreement. How long is it since you made real contact to the man upstairs? Yes, you have a great deal of influence. If you take the time to make contact, you won't lose anything at all, and you could have a great deal to gain. He has the time to listen to you. Good morning. It is indeed.
Well, that's all from us on this Thursday night. Thanks for staying with us. Tomorrow night on RPA, a difficult operation for one man sees years of sinus problems relieved at last. And on Bodywork, a man receives a penis enlargement. Real-life medical stories on RPA and Bodywork. Tomorrow night on lmparja. And if you think a penis enlargement sounds amusing, well, it's not half as amusing as the rest of our Friday night lineup. There's a ton of laughs coming up later tomorrow night with all new Queer Eye. We've also got Australia's favourite comedy duo, American Rosso, and stick around after that to catch the crew from the panel. That's tomorrow on lmparja, and this is Dan Fitzgerald wishing you good night.
Thanks very much. Let's put your hands together for the boys.
G'day, I'm Mike from Alice Springs Baptist Church. Have you ever read any of the Bible? If you have read some, do you have any special bits that mean something to you? I do, but then perhaps you'd expect me to. Anyway, I have a couple of sentences from the Bible I reckon would have to be my favourite. They were written by one of the blokes who hung around with Jesus when he walked on this earth some 2,000 years ago. Jesus' mate's name was John. And this is something that he wrote down only a few decades after Jesus died and was raised again to life. He writes, "How great is the love the Father has lavished upon us, that we should be called children of God." And that's what we are. Why on earth should a few words like this mean so much to an Aussie bloke like me? I mean, it sounds a bit soppy really, doesn't it? Well, let me explain. You see, I reckon that in all of us, some deep down, some on the surface, is the desire to be really loved. I mean, accepted and valued for who we are. We all get tired of being treated as a prospective buyer of a product, or looked at for what we can do for other people, or labelled by our appearance, or categorised by the kind of person that people think we are. And I reckon we all like the idea of being loved. The other thing is that no matter what our concept or thoughts might be about the whole idea of a God of some kind, we all tend to want to be in an okay place with that being. Somehow, deep down, none of us want to be excluded or cut off from the spiritual world. So this is where the words of Jesus' mate John come in. You see, these words tell me a lot about who God really is and about this God's action in the world in which I live. It tells me, firstly, that God is not some impersonal spiritual force or power, but quite the opposite. God has the character of one who relates. This God wants, he actually wants to be in relationship with people. Similar kind of relationship to a father with his children. Now, I'm not saying that God is like your father or mine, because let's face it, our dads, no matter how great they may have been, are never perfect. But this God is perfect. So any relationship God has with his people is perfect, from his side anyway. The other thing that these words of John tell us is that God ain't stingy. And neither is God just out to punish us. Rather, these words tell us that what God really wants to do, and indeed does, is love us in a way that changes our relationship with God. This God lavishes love on us. God doesn't hold back. And this love actually achieves something when we embrace it and receive it. It changes our relationship. It transforms us from being out of relationship with God to being people who are actually God's children. That's pretty awesome. I reckon this is a special kind of love. How about you? This is the kind of love I want and need. What about you? Please think about it. God bless you and see you next time.
Well, that's all from us tonight. Hope you've enjoyed our programming this evening, and let's take a quick look at tomorrow's lineup. Now, if you're a fan of Getaway, make sure you tune in at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time to catch the season final. Also coming up tomorrow night, CSI Crime Scene Investigation. This week's episode is based on a real-life case in which a group of MIT engineering students figure out how to win big at roulette. But all bets are off when two of them wind up dead. CSI Crime Scene Investigation tomorrow night, followed by Cold Case and the series final of Sex and the City. This is Dan Fitzgerald, wishing you good night.
Parmena, Kumiwanga Gulimrengo, Kumakala. When I woke up, I was changed. The last with you, wondering if you'd still remember, wondering if you knew. But always one thing certain, I never gave up hope for us, that one day we'd be together, and that day is coming up. And that day is coming up. When I'll be holding you in my arms. I'll be holding you and nothing will keep us apart. Well, I'm a-coming on down to the old front gate. I can see you there with your smiling face, and I'm back here holding you in my arms. Yes, I'm holding you in my arms. Yes, I'm holding you and nothing will keep us apart. I can see us crying tears of joy, and all I can say is, boy, oh boy, I'm so happy to be holding you in my arms, in my arms, in my arms, with you at last, in my arms. I'm so happy to be holding you in my arms. We have traveled to so many places, heard many sad stories of our people's struggle as we try to keep our land, our culture, and our children. So will you stand beside me now, hold me tight, and take these weights, and we shall cry for our land, and we shall cry for our land. I believe the time will come when everyone will join in and understand our way of life and how we care for this land, and we shall cry for our land, and we shall cry for our land, and we shall cry for our land. So will you stand beside me now, hold me time and take these ways, and we shall cry for our land, and we shall cry for our land. Help me! And we shall cry for our land. Black fella, white fella, it doesn't matter what your color, as long as you are a real fella, as long as you are a true fella. All the people of different races, with different lives, in different places, it doesn't matter what your name is, we gotta have lots of changes. We need more brothers if we're to make it. We need more sisters if we're to save it. Are you the one who's gonna stand up and be counted? Are you